Okay, so this is the third time that I've made this video, so it should go a lot quicker than it did before. But about halfway through everything, like my audio would cut out because the computer would have a lot of things running on it. And one of the issues was the audio effects that I were doing. So I'm going to try to edit it um, later and hopefully get good enough sound right now to make this work. So for the lab that we're going to do this week, we're going to go pick up a block, move, put a block down, pick it back up, move, and basically we're going to take that block and just leapfrog it around the little platen in there. Okay, you'll see what I mean. I'll throw a picture up with this, and you'll get it. All right. So one of the things that you'll need to learn is how to actually open and close the gripper in the program. We can do it already by using shift and 2 and period, or if we want to use a selection cut, we'll use shift and 0, right? All right. Well, the issue with that is it doesn't remember those. Just like if we move to a point and we don't tell the robot to remember that, it won't. Okay. So we've got something new. All right. The shift and period, or the interlocking period and 2, will make it open for us, but we need to let the actual program control that. Now, we've got what are called general purpose robots. Most robots are made to have a lot of different purposes, okay? And as such, what's on that end of arm tooling, we don't really know, or the robot doesn't really know. And so we'll tell it. All right, so on the output 10 is a solenoid. It's a little directional control valve so that we can close the gripper. As soon as we push 10, output 10 is going to try to close the gripper, okay? Now, output 9 tries to open the gripper. Now, there's a problem. If we try to close the gripper when the solenoid on 9 is trying to open the gripper, they're going to be fighting, okay? And one might be more powerful, but more than likely what will happen is whichever one's on right then, the other one will try to turn on, but it can't, and it's going to burn out that solenoid. So the first thing we need to do is be able to turn off what we don't want, okay? So we're going to look at a few things. You're going to want to put your home position at the top again. All right, so I'll show you how to do that. You'll go to robot. Oops. Give me a second. Got to get my cursor in the right place. All right, so you're going to go to robot and work home or second home position. I think in our robot, second home position is where the gripper's down, and that's what we want. We'll forward to it. We'll go to job, and put it at the, insert it into the top. Okay. So that makes sure that our robot is going to start from a known position. If we have a different job calling that job and we're way over here and we try to get home, or we're trying to do something, we're going to very likely tear something up. And another thing, we want to make sure that the end of arm tooling is in a position that we know. So some of your first points will be home point, and then like initialization of whatever points that you have, or variables that you have. All right, so to start with, for this gripper, we want it to be closed. So this first point would be our home point, and we're going to put it really slow, so 0.78. Then we're going to do a D out 9, and we're going to turn it off. All right, D out 9 is the gripper open. So it might not be on, but we have to assume the worst. And if it is on, it's going to be pushing up against that gripper closed solenoid, and it's not going to be good. Okay, so what we want to do is make sure that gripper open is off. Okay, and I'll show you how to do that. All right, down below your left thumb, you'll see a little button that says Inform List. All right, that Inform List is going to give us a lot of different things that are not points in space. Like we can do most of our programming as far as getting the robot where we need it without using Inform List, but when we need more control or other things that aren't point based, we're going to have to go to this Inform List. So you're going to get used to it. All right, a green light will showing that the Inform List, we're going to want to touch in out, D out, and then we want to scroll over and select whichever output we want. Then we're going to scroll over and push select to turn it on or off. And then we'll push enter again to make it. All right. So since we're not at the bottom, don't forget to push insert enter. If we're not right above end, we're going to have to insert that point. Now, look right there. To press insert, da 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 da. All right. When you get a little beep and it won't move, read the error, okay? And it's going to help you. So for those little minor things, we can click cancel. We'll insert enter, and we'll turn off 9 and turn on 10, and that's going to make sure our gripper's closed to start with. All right, and then we'll move to a point, and then when we're ready to pick something up, 2 or 3 points later, we'll open the gripper. The way we open the gripper is we turn 10 off, which is gripper closed, because it's pushing it closed. So we want to stop it from pushing it closed. And we're going to turn that off. And then we're going to turn it gripper open on. Okay? So I'm going to leave this up here for a few seconds while we talk about this. Okay? This will be a good screenshot, right? Like if you want to close it, you're going to turn 9 off and 10 on. If you want to open it, you're going to turn 10 on and 9, or 10 off and 9 on. Okay. Don't forget about intermediate points. Okay. If I'm going to be up here and my next point is in that block, right? What's going to happen, even though I maneuvered over it and then went straight down like I need to, if I forget this intermediate point right above it, it's going to take the shortest path and maybe knock over that block, okay? We don't want that. What we do want is we'll use really big motions to get there quick. All right, so I'll let y'all do those up to, let's say, 30, okay? And then when we're ready for precision, then we're going to go in and we'll change our speed. So the big movement speeds, I'll let you go up to 30. And then when you go, big movement to an intermediate point, 30. Then let's go down to maybe 10 to go down into the block. Put a point. If you forget that point, it'll never go into that block, right? And then open it. And then raise it up a little bit at a slower thing. And once we clear it of that platen, because it's got little holes in it, once we clear that, we can go faster with that block depending on what we need, okay? And so try to get this as quickly as possible. Like try to get this block from where it's at and it's going to make a little race. It's going to go 1, 2, 3. So you're going to pick it up, put it in the next little hole. Pick it up, put it in the next little hole. Pick it up, move over, because there's only 3 holes on one row. Put it in that little hole, and then work your way back up, and then leave it where you got it. Okay? Now, some things to think about. Like, be meticulous. Like, it's gonna help you having watched this whole video. I want you to, if you need to write this down, I've left it up on the screen a long time and kind of set back, and so you could, write those 2 little lines, gripper open, gripper closed. It's going to close the gripper, and then the gripper closed, gripper open, 2 lines are going to open it. Like, I'd write those down. All right, I'd write those down before I came in. Let's say that I'm telling you, write those down before you come in. Sriracha. All right. So if you go and pick that block up way up here and then put it back down, it doesn't matter how fast you get that cycle going, it's going to be an inefficient rotation. Okay. So right now we need to be starting to think about not just doing the job, but doing it efficiently. Okay. So if you don't have to go too high to get out of that hole, don't go too high. Okay. Now if you go put a point in the block and then you try to move over, you pick it up and you move over here without doing a couple of intermediate points between there, and then you put a point in the next hole, it's going to try to drag it through there. Okay. So intermediate points that are going to get you over an obstacle, are going to matter. Okay. I might write that down. Like, don't forget intermediate points. Now, the last video was 35 minutes, and 20 of those minutes you couldn't hear me because my computer went haywire. So I'm going to, and we're doing the same thing. I just got quicker at saying it. So that kind of helped y'all, but it really frustrated me. I had to quit and go eat a taco salad. All right. So we're going to have this under 15 minutes. Like, no excuse for not watching it. But if you're not watching it, then you don't know that I'm telling you no excuse. But people are about to start getting zeros for those. All right. So if you got any questions, ask me or Ashley. Have a good time at this, but program your job. Let's make a job for this. Okay. Like, this will help those who actually watch the whole video. Like, so you'll go in, you'll do create new job. You'll push select right there. You'll type in your last name and then lab sits. Okay. And then push enter and make sure that's what that says and execute, and you'll build your program from there. Okay. So there's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be 3 people probably. I've got faith. There's only going to be 2 people who didn't watch this video and mess this up. You should be fine if you've watched this video, and if you've gotten this far, you've watched this video. Y'all have a good weekend. If you're watching this before the weekend, you have a good whatever day it is when you get to this. Peace.